You can't give what you don't have. When you are talking about integrity, you are really talking about the real person, who that person is.
When you talk of integrity, you talk of honesty. To be honest. And to be honest means to be trustworthy, to be truthful. And politics is science and art of government.
Politics is about the people.
Yes.
And if you talk about it in a deeper sense, it has to do with how people take decisions on how to lead themselves.
Compliment of the season, our esteemed viewers. Everyone is entitled to human rights without discrimination, but some people misuse it to bad effect or for a bad purpose. So today, we shall be looking at the privilege and abuse of human rights. The aim is to checkmate the abuse of human rights on the part of the citizens, and what is the truth from the scriptures regarding leadership and followership. I am Smart Simon. Good day and welcome to Christians in Politics. I have with me in the studio to discuss the topic Barrister Nzagu Chiemeze, a principal partner, Beck Bruce Attorneys, and the Venerable Joseph O. Unwaya, JP, Director, Civic and Political Affairs, Church of Nigeria. You're welcome, sirs, and compliment of the season.
Bless you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Now, before we will start our discussion, viewers, you can call in for your comment and contribution in the course of this program. Now, we want to start. Let me start with the barrister in our midst. What can you say on the abuse of human rights and the privilege given to Nigerian citizens?
Okay, thank you for having me. Let me start by saying that it is a right and not a privilege.
Okay.
It is a right. Once you have given birth to in Nigeria, you are entitled to that right. It is your right. And it dates back to 1948, down to all the constitutions we've had up to this present one, 2011 constitution as amended. It's a right. But if we look at it constructively and critically, we'll see that there are indices here and there, internationally and locally, showing that we have not fared well as a region, African region. And then as a nation, we have not also fared well. You have the index of human rights abuse going from the local to the international. You see that Nigeria is on the low.
Okay.
So we are volatile with respect to human rights abuse. So, and it's a bit burdensome and it's a bit worrisome, because with all the provisions and all the enshrinements in the Constitution, it's still worrisome that we are still volatile in the aspect of human rights abuse.
Okay. Venerable sir, I don't know where we are now as Nigeria as a country in terms of human rights index. How they rated us, and then are we doing well at all on this issue that we're looking at?
I don't have statistics to that effect, but if you say, are we doing right, I don't think we are there at all. I don't think we are there at all. It depends on which angle you are focusing on.
Okay.
Is there abuse of human rights on the part of those in government and those who are supposed to enforce law and they are doing it arbitrarily? Or are you talking about abuse of human rights on the part of the citizens? They are two different things. Very entirely. Well. On the part of the citizens, I don't want to subscribe to the fact that citizens of Nigeria have over-abused their human rights, because even some of them are yet to know their rights.
Very well.
That is a fundamental.
Yes, some of them are yet to even know their rights. And we are even looking for people, advocates, who will help educate the public, the masses, to know what their rights are as citizens of this very country. It's just like the barrister just said, once you are born in this nation, Nigeria, there are some rights that are conferred on you by your birth.
Very well.
And by your citizenship. So many people have not known this. Yes, some few individuals have come to know their rights and all that, and we cannot rule out that one or two persons may have abused the right he has or whatever in one way or the other. For instance, it may look simple. Let me take on the lecturer. It's a lecturer's right to lecture the student. The student is under his control. So, but when he begins to overstretch the student and making unnecessary demands, for instance, sexual harassment, just to, you heard of recent when they were talking about sex for mark. Once the lecturer is doing that, he's abusing his right as a lecturer. Yes, it's a privileged position he occupies, which is abusing. When you are in the corridor of power, and what does not belong to you, you are amassing it to yourself, because there's nothing you can do, especially those who enjoy immunity. And because they know they cannot be prosecuted, they begin to do and undo. That can be abuse of a human right on the part there, because they too are citizens.
Very well.
Yes, that can be the abuse. But on the other angle, on the side of those who are to enforce the law, there will be so much of abuse. See the level of extrajudicial killing in our streets over the years. What has been done about it? So many people are incarcerated and nothing is being done about it. There are many cases of court judgments that are not obeyed. These are all abuses of the fundamental rights of citizens of this very country. So for me, I would say we have not done very well. Whichever, I don't, like as I said at the beginning, I don't have the statistic by any organization, but if I, as an individual, is to assess, give an honest assessment, we have a long way to go. We will get there, but we should be seen to be moving steadily towards that, not taking one leg forward and taking 5 steps backward.
All right. Thank you so much. Now, you have said that a lot of people don't even know their rights.
Yes.
Barrister, who is responsible for this?
I think we have a system well established for that. You have the National Human Rights Commission, and this is actually meant to be their main function, to educate the citizens and the masses on their rights. Chapter 4 of the Constitution is very trite. Right to life from section 33 down. But like he said, some of these people who have not, some people who have not even seen the Constitution. So there should be adequate sensitization by these organizations. But the question is, what are they doing? What are they doing? Some people are just sitting somewhere, answering names, but the key functions of those organizations have not been done. The National Human Rights Commission is a place that their function is supposed to be to receive complaints and also to educate the citizens and the masses on their rights. So a lot of rights are trampled daily. Like the Venerable said, this thing, abuse is in 2 ways. Abuse on the person enforcing their rights and abuse of someone's right. That is on the part of the citizen and on the part of the government agency whose responsibility it is to enforce these rights. But the truth is, we see it more on the part of the citizens. Their rights are being abused daily because they have nobody to speak for them. They have nobody. And we are particular about this human rights issue because we run a democratic system of government. We are the people, are the main persons. They are the important persons. They are the key players in the government. It is a government of the people, for the people, and by the people. So the people's right should be more important to any government in power more than the right of the person. But the issue is, when someone in my locality does not even know what his right is, and that is why somebody will walk into his house and tell him, you're under arrest, and he won't even ask for arrest warrant. Exactly. And he will just follow the person when you have not committed any felony.
Exactly.
Or capital offense.
Exactly. All right, thank you. In fact, when you said that the people are the most important persons in democracy, I don't know whether that can be said in Nigeria boldly, that is how it is. Well, anyway, I have been privileged to visit Suleja Prison and Kuje Prison for just to pray with them and all of that. And I learned that the capacity of the prison in Kuje was for 300 inmates, thereabout. But the number of inmates I saw there is overwhelming. And the kind of food they eat and everything and all of that. I think that the government can do better than what they are doing now. If you have the capacity of 300, why put 800 there with over 500? And some of them are awaiting trial. Why would a court not hasten up to be able to, establish the matter? If the person is guilty, is guilty. If he is not, he should allowed to go. But you discover that so many people are in prison for awaiting trial for almost 3 years. Barrister, any reason for this thing that is going on?
Well, the problem is that our system is bad. We don't have a good system. Now, why can't we improve the prison facility? Because whether you like it or not, the population of the country is increasing by day. And so we should anticipate that there will be increase in crime. Like some couple of months back, we saw that people were deported from South Africa. Or not deported now. Some people came back from South Africa due to the xenophobic attacks. Now, some of these people are coming back. We don't have employment for them.
That's right.
Whether we like it or not, it will, in one way or the other, increase by 1% or 2% the crime rate. And when you have people in localities that still goat and fowls and you take them to all those places, the government should make adequate facility, because this is their right. Much as they are in detention, they should be treated fairly. They are still citizens of this country. At least they have not been convicted. You have over 1,001 persons in prisons who are waiting trial. So the government should do something to. If you, at least you say you have been to prisons, you see that the state of our prisons are very terrible. Very terrible. I've been to several prisons across the country, and some of them are nothing to write home about. Some people can't even sleep day and night if the things were to be done the way they are. So the government should make adequate facility. Now they said it's no longer prison facility. If you say it is a correctional facility, then you should put in correctional facilities that should correct people actually. So the government has the responsibility to do something, and then the judiciary as well. But the problem is, again, it is overwhelming. So you don't to an extent blame the judiciary. It is becoming overwhelming. You go to a court and then you see a court list of over 40 cases in one day, and this person is still human. So the person can only do within the ambits of what he can and his strength. So it still boils down to the government of the day. They should do something. It is called correctional. Let us do something to make it correctional.
Exactly.
Let us improve the system. Exactly. We can give them world class. That is why Nigerians prefer going abroad to be in detention there rather than coming to Nigeria to be in a correctional facility. Because there you are entitled to a good mattress, a good space, a good food. But here, most times, to even eat a 3 square meal is a problem. And yet, millions are loaded into the facility for this assignment.
Thank you so much. In fact, there was a time I learned that they were going to transfer some prison from abroad to Nigeria. And they contested. They said they don't want it. They want to remain in the prison abroad. It's all right. Venerable sir, looking at the Showore case with the federal government, you are aware that during President Goodluck Jonathan's administration, Showore used online media platform to criticize sitting government, and he was not persecuted. He tries same in this current administration, and he was arrested. Will you say he abused the privilege of fundamental human rights, or he disobeyed the rule of law? What can you say about this? I know that the case is in court right now.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say, that we don't want to say that, I mean, anything like Showore abused or Showore did not abuse. Let the court decide. Let the court decide on that. But generally, media houses are not supposed to be appendages of government.
That's right.
They are not supposed to be praise singers. They are supposed to look at things and report them the way they are. They are not supposed to be promoters of lies. Do you understand? So I don't expect any media house, for instance, if let's just give a kind of a picture. Say maybe there's a problem somewhere, and the federal government decide to deploy police there to go and maintain the peace, and the policemen gets there and start killing people on the spot using a live ammunition against people, innocent citizens who are not carrying anything. Lives are lost in the process. I don't expect a responsible media house to come when citizens saw that people died. More than 10 people died, they can count the dead bodies on the ground. I don't expect a responsible media to come and report to the country that it's only one person that died. I mean, to me, that has
always happened.
That is what is happening mostly in this country. If that is what is journalism, we don't need it.
That's right.
We don't need it. So, somebody, when the man you refer to was arrested by this government, somebody just said it's good for him. I was sure. I said, why are you happy that somebody, a citizen, is arrested? I just asked. I wanted to know why that. He said, yes, the man has been peddling lies against government. He did it against Jonathan. Now he's doing it against the Buhari. So it's good for him. So I said, well, I was not following Sahara reporters, in details, and I was not confirming any of his report. In fact, I didn't have any means to confirm any report that that station has been given over the years to know whether they have been partisan or whether they have been abusing their privilege and all that. Now that the matter the man have been arrested, the matter is in court, I think all those facts will be laid before the relevant authorities, and they will examine them. We hope they will examine them wholly and do the right thing. But generally, if we have to say concerning Showore, I just have to appeal to Mr. President to tamper justice with mercy, because the truth is that even Mr. President and the government in power knows that the economy has been biting hard. Many people, there was reception when they just came in. Thank God they said they have been able to control that to a large extent now. They are making more move now. I know as a person, even though I'm not an economist, that closure of border is going to ultimately benefit this country. But are there cushioning measures? Yeah. That is another thing. People are suffering, and when you tell somebody that is hard pressed not to talk, you have killed him.
That's right.
There should be psychic window where the person will vent his anger, so that at least he will not just collapse. So I guess that is what this young man was trying to do. Let's gather, express our mind, let government know that things are not all right, to put them on their toes. So I will appeal to the government in power to tamper justice with mercy, and at least there's room for forgiveness. What we preach is forgiveness. Even if any citizen has abused his office, at least for now, Buhari is our father. And it's for every person and for nobody. So, as he told us at the beginning, so he should tamper justice with mercy and try to promote democracy. Anything that will give the picture that the human rights of citizens are being curtailed, anything that will give the picture that media houses are being gagged, government should try to play.
Because criticisms are not always bad.
Play them, because criticism makes you strong.
Exactly.
It makes you not to make more mistakes. Yes, that is how leadership should see.
When there are no opposition voice.
When there is no, you may be on a very wrong track and you think you are still on until there's a major disaster.
All right, sir. Thank you so much, Venerable. Barrister, what is your opinion on this issue?
Well, like the Venerable said, the matter is before the court of law. And when the matter is before the court of law, we are precluded from speaking. But I just want to say a few things. Okay. The first thing is, has Showore been granted bail by a court of competent jurisdiction? Yes. Had that order of court been obeyed? No. So that is what we should be looking at. And I think that is what his lawyers are canvassing. This man has been granted bail. Please release the man. If a court of competent jurisdiction will have independence of judiciary, every other arm is independent. So they have looked at it and said, okay, this man has been granted bail. Why not allow the man? Why? And then allow him under trial. You can seize his passports and all. but allow him. That is one aspect of it. Then the other aspect, Venerable rightly treated is, now the question is, media houses are being cowed. That is my opinion. When it seems like, okay, you are trying to, because media houses, in my thinking, should be like a pressure group.
Yeah.
They should represent every interest, both the interest of the government, the interest of the masses, and everyone. So, but where they are cowed into doing what an individual or an organization or a particular party wants, then it is not good for our democracy. I still take it back to our democracy. We are gradually pulling down our democracy. This was not the same democracy our forefathers fought for, the Awolowos and the Azikiwes, because we are gradually pulling it down. The Section 39 provides for freedom of press. Now, much as the Sowore issue, I'm trying to avoid it because I have my own bias on the matter, but I want to restrict myself since this is this one is restricted to this particular issue. Now, on the Sowore issue, I followed Sahara reporters from 2013 until 2015, build up to the election and post-election. Yes, there were a lot of issues. But there was something about them that time. They were going with more of propaganda and lies.
Exactly.
They were going with more of propaganda and lies. But if you look at it at this time, when you come out and say revolution now, to him, he was exercising his rights, his fundamental human rights. That is his own understanding. And that may be the understanding of so many other persons. But to the government, there was a threat to national security.
That's right.
There was a threat to national security. And if you look at it, both parties are right. To him, he's exercising his rights, but to the government, there is a threat to national security. And where much as we have a right, but where there is a threat to national security, the government steps in. And that is where the abuse on that side comes in.
Yeah.
So when you say revolution now, we know under the Arab silage, you know that was how it started. And then gradually, we all know what happened. So a lot of people may misunderstand. The man Sowore may have a good intention. But a lot of people who are following, who may not understand what the revolution is talking about means, may take it the wrong way. So I think that is what the government is doing. But the approach is what I condemn. The approach. Jonathan was a gentleman. A lot of things were said. He didn't do anything. Perhaps he would have been set an action for defamation against Sowore and Sahara reporters, but he didn't. But everybody will not be the same.
Exactly.
That administration is different from this. They all have their workability and how they work. So they decided, this government decided, okay, no, let us bring him and talk to him. So but I think the government should honor the order of court and grant him bail application. We don't choose which order to obey. When it comes to removal of somebody, you obey that one. And when it comes to granting bail, you don't grant that.
I like what Barry says. He say, government say, let's bring him and talk to him.
That's right.
Are you sure that is what is good?
Well, for you to take it to DSS custody, that means DSS is an arm of the presidency.
Okay, so, they are talking to him.
They are trying to negotiate with him. Bros, calm down. But my own is there's a court order now, and that supersedes every other thing. So they should allow him. So while they are negotiating and discussing with him, they can be discussing in court while the matter is going on, but give him his freedom. He has right to liberty, since the court has given him freedom.
I think on the issue of abusing court order, this is not the first time. There were so many others.
In fact, record has that is up to 16 in this administration that has not been obeyed. So, but when an ex parte order has been granted, somebody will pick it and then use an ex parte order to, let me restrict myself to the question.
All right, thank you so much. Venerable sir, before we go on a break, can you give examples of some people who have also abused the privilege of fundamental human rights and what was done to them? Are there people like that?
Well, I will not give names.
Okay.
Yes. I will not give names because if I start naming people, it means I've passed judgment on them. Yes, so that would be abuse of their rights too. So to fear hearing.
Okay.
But the truth is that some people have done that in the past. I stumbled into a historical piece in the social media of recent. It was so interesting that I have to read through from the beginning to the end, talking about the 6th most notorious armed robbers that has risen in Nigeria over the years. Starting from, I said I don't want to mention them. Some of them are dead and gone now. Some of them are behind the bar. These are people that have abused their rights. They lord it on other people. They go to the road, block the road, snatch people's car, go to people's houses, beat them up, break into people's apartments, cut away with with their properties. And for me, that is abuse of freedom. When you take, your own personal power, freedom too far, to the point that it start infringing on the rights of other citizens and the rights of the society in general, then that is an abuse. If there is a deliberate campaign of calumny against a particular government, and the truth is not there, but you are deliberately, because maybe somebody has paid you to do that, that is abuse of fundamental human rights. They have been talking so much now about this issue of people peddling rumors and all that, posting hate speech and all that. If deliberately, because you want to make money, you are engaged in such business, that is abusing the fundamental right to freedom of speech and freedom of expression. Because while you are expressing your freedom of speech and expression, you should not forget that myself, who is at the receiving end, I also have my freedom. For me, will I call it now? I should be.
That is right to privacy.
Yeah, right to privacy and so many other things. So I have right to fair hearing, because before you start maybe pushing the story that you have had against me, you have not heard from me to balance up your reportage and all that. So there have been abuses, quite all right, in one way or the other. Even what can be more an abuse than kidnapping? Kidnapping is a fundamental abuse that should not be played with. When you just go, bundle somebody into the bush, maybe tie him there, for the next one you deny him of his freedom and all the good things of life, then you begin to make demand for his people to empty his account and come and give to you before you release him. That is the height of abuse of no human rights. And that is why government must wake up and deal with some of these issues decisively. But in doing that, you don't use error to correct error.
Okay.
Yes. In doing that, you should not do it abusively again. Follow the due process. Follow the due process. You heard my brother talk about a search warrant. If you want to arrest person, get a search warrant. Then if you arrest person, don't unnecessarily detain the person. If you have to detain person for any reason, because I know there are up to about 4 issues or cases, how do I call it, where bails is not necessarily granted. In case of murder, if I'm right, if case of murder,
it's a capital offense.
It's a capital offense, and some other issues that are related. There may be no bail, but there should be benefit of the doubt that even when the person is arrested and detained, it should be detained in a decent place, not like thank God they have changed the name now from prison to correctional centers. I just pray that should also change. Affect the change of facilities and the way they are abused while they are waiting for their trial.
All right, thank you. We'll go on a short break, but when we come back, you'll focus on the security agent, how the security agents are abusing the right of the citizens. So when we come back, viewers will go on a short break, and when we come back, we'll continue our discussion.
Not that I mean to undermine polytechnics, they do a good job, but university education is actually more valuable.
What teacher is supposed to do is to identify those people that are very, very slow in learning.
When you discover your child is not performing well in a particular subject, it's for you to encourage the child and find out ways to assist the child.
I don't give respect to the school which you graduated from. What I see in you and I expect is what you can offer. And this is what polytechnic education equipped the graduate with.
There's no longer white-collar jobs. They are nowhere to be found. the population is increasing on a daily basis and the government cannot provide all the needed jobs for the poor youths.
It's the doctor that the patient has to get a prescription from. The reason is that when the patient comes, the patient gets a card and is directed to see the physician.
Viewers, we are glad that you are still there, and we want to continue our discussion. Now, Barrister, before we went on break, we are looking at examples of abuse of privilege or fundamental human right, and Venerable has been able to give us a lot of examples. Now, I want us to focus on the area of our security agent. I can't remember the last time I saw security agent carrying out arrest with any warrant of arrest. I've never seen that before. All of the security agents. And I noticed that military, the moment you are reported to the military that you've done something, I don't know whether they give them money or something, they will just come malhandle you.
Instant judgment.
Take you to wherever they want to take you, deal with you, and nothing is going to happen about it. What can you say about these things that is going on?
It's very worrisome, and it's quite, I must say, it's quite unfortunate, because that is now the order of the day in our nation. Now, you have mentioned security, you have mentioned police, there is DSS. Now, what of the abuse on the lawyers? Now, you have a right to a lawyer. You are arrested and taken to the police station. A lawyer comes to take you on bail, and the lawyer is abused, assaulted, and all. Because they feel there is an intimidation, you are coming to intimidate them, you are coming to show them that you know. So it's very worrisome and it's most unfortunate. And it boils down to our system. The system is not working. Nobody is correcting anybody. When my godfather is there as a DPO, I can afford to do anything as an officer and go away with it. And what of when the DPO is the person who is abusing? So it's very worrisome. You have a friend who is a police officer, and then you go to tell him somebody is owing you. Police is not a debt recovery agent. But the police will go to drag the person, arrest the person, and bring the person to station, and then come and cause you under duress to write an undertaking to sign that, okay, if I don't pay back by tomorrow, I carry every property I have. So it's most unfortunate. The abuse is more on the side of security agents. A security officer stops you at the road. You are entitled for him to talk to you in a fair manner. But he drags you out of your car, he starts beating you, and before you know it, somebody tells you are trying to resist arrest. And before you can be arrested without warrant, it must be shown that you are committing an offense, a capital offense or a felony. But in our time, anybody knocks at your door, I'm from so-and-so division. The funny thing is that African magic has so much corrupted our system that what you see on system is what plays out. Remember some time ago, some months back, when the NSAS was all over the social media? Because those ones were taking the laws into their hands in a different dimension. They come in and they don't wear uniform. I met them on the road one day. I said, they were flagging me, and I said I won't stop. They pointed the guy and said, shoot, what is the worst? Is it not a bullet? I'll die. I said, you are wearing something, you are wearing a black t-shirt and a jean with a ripped jean. You can imagine an officer of the law wearing a ripped jean and standing on the door on the major street, on the federal road with a gun, and you expect me to stop. I don't know if you're an armed robber, because I have to also protect myself. I have the right to self-defense. I have to protect myself first. So the abuse is on the increase daily, particularly on the side of the security agents. You will see, I don't want to give the example, but down to Soworo's case you mentioned, you see what happened in court, where he was arrested there in court. It's not supposed to be done. They should have allowed him step out of the court gate. You tell him to, and then you must no law says that you must arrest somebody and handcuff the person. You have men and you have ammunition, and then somebody who is harmless. He has nothing, and you handcuff him and you beat him, you push him. You see people arrested and thrown into boots of vehicles. It's not supposed to be so. They have right. They still have their right, and above all, they have right to fair hearing. You've not even heard their own side of the story. So the problem boils down to the system. We need to go back, review our system. The Police Act needs to be reviewed. And then the officers, both the DPOs, the commissioners, and the inspectors, they need to be properly trained. I don't think that, yes, you hear them go on course and wonder what course what they are being taught when they go on some of those courses, because they need to be properly trained. You see in Nigeria, you see in advanced countries, when the American police wants to arrest you, they just come to your house, sorry, Oga, you're under arrest, and they try to be nice to you. You can even drive on your own car while they drive behind you, but you can't see that in our country. They will bundle into a boot, lock the boot, or push you into a helos, tie you with your own shirt. That is an abuse. But because nobody is speaking out, you speak out, somebody tries to cow you. Because nobody is speaking out, it's on the increase. I call on the NBA to look into this matter, particularly on that of lawyers. They are doing something, they are trying to come up with something, but there needs to be a proactive measure immediately. Because with time, you can't even go to a police station and say you're a lawyer and then you want to bail your client. They will arrest you and add you and try to rope you in. So it's most unfortunate. It's most unfortunate. So it boils down to our system. We need to review the system. Right. When you pick an armed robber, an ex-armed robber, and make him a police officer, what do you expect? So when you pick somebody on the street, there is no adequate training. I think we should have some. The criteria are there, but how many of them are followed when recruiting? When you give somebody a slot and say bring 10 people, the person goes to his village and brings somebody that cannot even hear, that cannot understand a complete statement, cannot even read. So all the person knows is give me, and the person has an orientation. So once the person is going there, it's a money-making measure. So, but we are not doing things under merit in this country, and that is one of the part of the problem. When you recruit officers who don't come under merit, where there are people out there who are qualified for this work. So the system is bad. We need to start from the foundation. We need to start from the scratch. Let us look inward. The police should go back, talk to themselves, review the system. Then the executive, which is part of them, should talk to them. Call the Inspector General of Police. Call him to order. Your people are doing this. Your people are doing this. That is why in Nigeria you see an arm of the security agent will go and do something, and then the other arm will come out and say we are not aware, or the boss of the organization of that particular agency will come out. DSS will go and carry out an operation. Yes, they will come out and say the police will come out and
to arrest. And the army came to shoot the policemen and kill them.
And then the military came up to say we don't know about it. So it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. There is no synergy between these agencies. There needs to be a synergy. They should work together. And let me stop here, sir.
All right, thank you so much. Venerable, by the time Barrister has itemized all of this, it looked like all hope is lost.
I've been, well, will I say a victim twice. Let me just share that experience.
Okay.
In Benin, some few years back, somebody was arrested, and for 2 days they refused to allow him bail. So the brother, a fellow venerable, came to me and said, as a serving justice of the peace in Edo State, I know you have the right to admit person to bail.
Yes.
So please, can you follow me to the office to see them? So I went there. It was the SARS department. The first thing that amazed me was that as we were just entering into their office, the first officer that passed us at the gate was with a bottle of whiskey in his hand. He was with AK-47 with one hand, and holding a bottle of whiskey and drinking directly from the bottle.
In the office.
In the office. In the police headquarters. So that shocked me. Then, as soon as we entered, the next officer, and we spoke, say, who are you? So we introduced, we are venerables. Of which church? We told them. So what is it? Why did you come? Is here a church? You know. So the next thing, that venerable I followed there said, one of my relations has been arrested for the past 2 days now. Is with you people. They said, come. We have found somebody that is arrest him. He is connected with this very crime. Which crime? They have not named the crime. He is connected. We arrest him. They started dragging the venerable in my presence.
Seriously?
Honestly, I have to, rescue him and go straight to the commissioner. Thank God the commissioner acted promptly and really rebuked them. He called up the head of the team and said, why are you behaving this way? So, think of it. if I didn't have the privileged
That is
position
the
to be
problem.
able to
That is
go
it.
straight to the commissioner. That is abuse.
The right will
Then,
abuse.
in the same station, one of my brother had an issue, and they detained him. They arrested him. So I came in to bail him. The officer signed that they should bail him. I didn't know that they were delaying the process until it was about 6 p.m. And the man finally disappeared, the senior officer.
That is it.
By the time I asked, what are we waiting for? He said, just hold on, they let you, let's tidy up things. Then they said, yes, Oga has approved that they can bail him, but you must pay 25,000 naira. I said, for what? He said, Oga, don't just talk, because this 25,000 is going to be shared from the up down. There's a cut for the commissioner, there's a cut for the head of this department, there's a cut for those of us who are their boys. So don't just talk. That was how they ended up detaining my brother overnight. So the following morning, I had to go straight to the commissioner, and I told him straight to his eyes, look, I came to find out how much is your cut out of the 25,000 naira these people have.
That's right.
Yes, I want to know what is your. He said, what do you mean? I say, they say the 25,000 I must pay before I bail my brother. You have a cut from it. The head of that department have a cut from it. So the commissioner was shocked. So he had to go and call the person who introduced himself as the head of the department, only for the person to come. And they asked, you know, to say, yes, come. Did you tell? First of all, something that baffled me, we discovered he was not even the head of the department. It was impersonation.
Seriously.
It was impersonation.
Policeman.
Yes, yes. Now, if you meet with some of these top officers, if you are privileged to have access to them, some of them can be very, very decent.
I agree with you, sir.
Right in my presence, the commissioner redeployed 3 of them out of that very department. Right there, just call for the real person that they were impersonating and said, these 3 officers must leave this department immediately. That was some few years ago. But in Abuja here, that one was life-threatening to me. I was driving with my wife to this near army military headquarters at a central area. Is it that place where you have the Air Force House, the
Ministry of Defense?
Ministry of Defense. That junction, that time during this book, we were just driving in and say, we are confused which side of the road should we take care, because they have put all sorts of things, barricaded the road. So I said, let me ask these officers to direct me. If I'm confused, who should I ask? I just rolled down glass to say, officer, that was the offense I committed. Come out. Come out. Come. I said, please, I just want to ask for. Come out. They almost literally dragged me out to fling the door open. We have to come. I told my wife, let's come out before anything. Come out. I want to. Who are you? I said, chaplain to the National Assembly. Okay. It's people like you who want to even go down. What have I done? I just want to ask. Sit down. You can't believe it. This man come gone and was ready to shoot at me. Sit down.
Seriously?
Sit down. I almost fell into the gut. Sit down. I give you the last order. Sit down. I have to sit down on the floor, on the bare ground. I sat on the bare ground. Meanwhile, while they were doing this one to me, my very bosom friend, very close friend, he was the chief of defense reformation, and he was inside, and they didn't know. I was wondering, if they can do that one to me, what of other ordinary Nigerians? Let's put it that way. So people are going through hell in the hand of security agencies. So I think it's a high time they are called to order, because they are using the taxpayers, the taxes to pay these people.
Exactly.
It is the taxpayers' money that they use to give them this gun. So you cannot turn it against the people that are paying you, the people you are supposed to protect. Because of this kind of abuse, many people are afraid to go to security first. To even go, they say, okay, police are friend, this or that. If you see something, say something, come and tell them. You go to police station and make a report. Before you know it, you are detained.
That is it.
You come across accident victim and carry and rush to the hospital or go to the police. Before you know it, there's a problem. So I think we need general reorientation for our security personnel, generally.
Sorry, Canon. There was something Venerable said that is very worrisome. Now, he knew somebody, and he knew the commissioner in Benin, and that was why that man was released. Now, imagine those that don't have any connection.
Any connection at all.
Imagine those. That is the part that bothers me. The people that don't have no link to anybody.
So
you can stay there and you suffer for weeks. Nobody cares about you. Nobody wants to know before
from there you can
don't
be
have
taken
anybody.
to a prison and you just end up there.
I've gone for a prison visit and I saw a man. There was no offense. He came to bail somebody and he was thrown in there, and that was it. I had to fight through the NGO I came with to rescue the man. So a lot of people, because they have no connection. But like he also said, we should give credit to those who are doing well. There are a number of them who are doing well.
Yeah.
I've been to the FCT, the first headquarters, the one in area 8. And a client was the tender. I met the commissioner. He welcomed me, gave me cola, he gave me drink.
Yeah, some of them,
he had to
especially
attach,
the top officers.
Yes, the commissioner there, he had to attach someone to me to follow me through. That was how, but now I knew the commissioner.
All right.
So if I didn't know him.
Then what happens?
All right, we have to move now because of our time. And let me start with Venerable Sir. As Christians, what do you have to say about the law of honor? No matter how weak a leader is, and what lesson can we draw from David and Saul's story?
Well, the Bible says there's no authority except it is established by God.
That's right.
So I personally have always had this belief that whoever is in authority should be honored, should be respected, because it could have been me, it could have been you. And if I was for instance, if I was the president of this country today, I will expect people to respect me, to give me the honor that is due. So if I am not, whoever is there, I think deserves such honor and respect. But again, we should not also forget this, that you honor and respect is not really giving, it is earned.
Very well, very well.
So those in authority should not provoke citizens to disrespect them. Yes. Because when the right of people are being abused, when the people in authority are not doing what they're supposed to do, you cannot control it. The citizens must exhibit some attitude that will not be good enough and will not be presentable. But be that as it may, you use the word as Christians. Christians are enjoined to honor those in authority. We are to pray for them. We are to pay taxes as at when due. Give respect to whom respect is due. And as a child of God, you will be doing it as a Christian obligation. That is what I have to say on this. We Christians should not join other people to unnecessarily abuse people. Instead, we should pray. And by the way, when the Bible says pray for those in authority, it says so that you can live a peaceful life. Not if you are not doing it for the sake of them that are in power, do it for your own peace sake. Because once you pray for them and God directs them aright, then, and they are ruling well, ultimately you will be the beneficiary. Yes.
All right, thank you so much. Let me now come to Barrister. Since we are looking at this matter, we need to bring in an aspect. What is the truth from the scripture regarding leadership and followership? I know we've done certain things on leadership before in this in the Diocese of Abuja.
Well, I don't know why Venerable didn't answer that question.
He did not ask you.
Let me quote Paul. He said, follow me even as I follow Christ. So I think if my leader is not following Christ, and then following him will lead me to hell.
You need to be careful.
I should be careful, because Bible also says wisdom is profitable to direct.
Yes.
So I should also employ that wisdom of God to direct me. But then, like Venerable said, the Bible honor our leaders and they are godly representatives. Yes, we should follow them. But then, let me not follow a leader that will lead me to the pit. That is why the Bible says if your right hand will cause you to sin, cut it off. So if my leader will cause me, maybe if traveling abroad will be the solution, I travel abroad so that I don't follow him into hell. But then again, sir, I feel as Christians, like he said, we should pray. We should pray for it is our responsibility to pray for our leaders. But I am one person who campaign for not prayer only, but prayer and constructive criticism. Constructive. In quote, constructive criticism. Tell him in love, sir, this one you are doing, I don't think you are doing it right. If we do it this way, it can actually favor us better. And the leader, again, must have the conscious, that is why he's a leader. He's not a terror. He's a leader. He should also bear in mind that people are following me. And whatever example you give, these people will follow. So he should also be mindful of the response from the people. He should always allow for room for feedback for the people he's leading to know if they are being carried along, if they are doing well. And also, as a leader, that Jesus Christ is our perfect example. He's a chief shepherd. The welfare of your flock and the people who are following you should be your utmost priority.
Yes.
When you're a leader, you are living in flamboyance and you're doing very well, and the people you are leading are not doing well, they're hungry, people are dying daily, and you are comfortable, then your leadership should be called to question.
All right, thank you. If your people are not doing well, and then you are okay, then your leadership should be called to question. Something is wrong with your leadership, and this is where we want to end it there. Want to thank Chimeze Nzago Esquire, the principal partner, Beck Bruce Attorneys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir,
for your time. I must say, we've enjoyed your time with us here.
Thank you, sir.
And our usual guest, thank you so much for always being there. Thank you.
Thank you.
God bless you, sir.
Thank you. I think the studio is doing very well.
All right. This is where we wrap up our program today. Human right is a right and not a privilege. And so the government of the land should pay attention to this very fundamental issue of human rights. And please remember to maintain a positive attitude throughout. Jesus is the reason for the season. Until we come your way again by Tuesday next week. God bless you and God bless Nigeria.
We should wish Nigerians happy Christmas.
Okay, Merry Christmas to our esteemed viewers.
To our viewers. Thank you.
Thank you.